This is the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa bagong Pilipinas.
Good evening, this is 13 News.
We bring you the day's top stories
that shape the country and the world.
Let's get into the headlines right now. DPWH faced the mighty House Appropriations Committee for their 2027 budget. Secretary Dizon vowed that no more ghost flood control projects will be budgeted for next year.
Hostile witness and OVP Assistant Chief of Staff Lemuel Ordoño pressed with questions by Senator judges. Senate Impeachment Court has also started to implement two-strike policy when it comes with compliance to the sub judice ruling.
Hunger incidents in the country dropped by 3% in the second quarter of 2026. Government says other efforts are in place to sustain this decline.
The Department of Education launches its Project Ligtas for better preparation amid threats of disasters.
And Filipino tennis star Alex Ayala now shines not just in sports, but also in fashion.
All these and more here on 13 News.
First in our news, the Department of Public Works and Highways is eyeing around a 102 billion peso budget for flood control projects next year.
But during the House budget deliberations, some lawmakers wanted to make sure that no ghost flood control projects will be funded again.
DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon, meanwhile, vowed that they have exerted effort to prevent another anomaly that is disservice to the Filipino people. IBC correspondent Earl Tobias has the full report.
The Department of Public Works and Highways faced the lawmakers' scrutiny as the agency defended its 2027 proposed budget. Solons were much critical of the agency's budget for the government's continuing flood mitigation plans.
Ayaw natin na mapunta yung budget natin sa isang kontraktor na hindi naman po qualified or nakapaghawak ng mga fake, substandard, ghost flood control projects.
Kaya ko rin tinatanong yung mga plano dahil pagka per administration lang ang ginagawa natin, hindi natin malulutas itong mga problemang ito.
Under the 2027 National Expenditure Program, the agency has an allocation of about 102 billion pesos for both locally funded and foreign-assisted flood control projects. Secretary Dizon vowed that all of their projects for next year are properly mapped out and verified, including the need for flood control projects in Bulacan.
No one will argue that we need flood mitigation projects in Bulacan. Bilyon-bilyon na yung napasok dyan. Ganito pa rin ang sitwasyon. Marami kaming kailangang ayusin ng mga napag-iwanan itong mga pambababoy nitong mga projects sa all over the country.
The agency's asking for flood control project is just part of the 643.95 billion pesos eyed by the DPWH next year. 199 billion pesos, or the biggest chunk, will be used for the national road system. According to Dizon, the agency has trimmed down its infrastructure projects next year from 22,000 to 25,000 in past years to a little over 11,000.
Ang problema po natin, sa dami nga po ng mga proyekto na dinatnan natin at nagkapatong-patong na all throughout the years, umaabot to minsan ng 1:30. 30 or sometimes even more.
Dizon said this number is much realistic and can be handled more efficiently by district engineers. Dizon reported to the committee that 12 contractors linked to flood control scandal have been blacklisted and 100 DPWH employees were either suspended, relieved, or are facing charges. Earl Tobias, IBC News.
Malacanang, meanwhile, claps back at Vice President Sara Duterte following her remarks over recent floodings and the allegation of distorting the Constitution. IBC correspondent Harley Valbuena has the full details.
Doon po sa lubog na ang bansa sa baha. Totoo naman po. Kitang-kita po natin ito sa Davao City.
This was the palace's response to Vice President Sara Duterte's new tirade, saying that the country is submerged in flood and poverty, while alleging that no one will ever be held accountable for the flood control scandal. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro also showed a news article and questioned part of the report, saying that the Duterte administration was able to complete almost 14,000 flood control projects.
Kung meron dapat managot dito sa mga proyektong ito, dahil inamin naman ni dating Pangulong Duterte na merong ghost projects sa panahon niya, dapat din natin malaman kasi para mabigay po natin ang kahilingan ng Vice Presidente na managot ang dapat na managot.
Yusek Castro also claps back to the allegation that the administration prioritizes distorting the charter. Yusek Castro pointed out that the alleged misuse of 125 million pesos confidential funds is a worse violation of the Constitution.
Siguro mas maganda sa ating Vice Presidente na aralin niya po lahat para hindi bumalik sa kanya yung mga ibinibintang niya sa administrasyon. Kasi mas mainam na mas malinis po niya at mapatunayan na ang kanyang opisina ay walang ginawang anumang anomalya.
VP Sara was also advised to be courteous in her words, as the President and the Palace do not tolerate derogatory remarks and ad hominems. Harley Valbuena, IBC News.
The impeachment trial against Vice President Sara Duterte rages on as second hostile witness Lemuel Ortoño undergoes questioning from the senator judges. Ortoño maintains he had no knowledge of transaction details of the Vice President's confidential funds. IBC correspondent Patrick Gupo has more on today's proceedings.
The senator judges pressed hostile witness and OVP Assistant Chief of Staff Lemuel Ortoño over his knowledge about budget utilization in their office. Senator Judge Rafi Tulfo, for one, questioned why Ortoño did not look into the details of transactions involving confidential funds, including the purchase of medicines and acknowledgement receipts.
Sir, you are a very highly educated person from prestigious schools. Come on, it doesn't make sense. It defies logic. In fact, pumirma ka doon sa pag-reply mo sa IOM.
I asked Sir
So
kung ano yung
pumirma ka
process.
nakapikit.
Senator Judge Ping Lacson also questioned the OVP's fiscal and financial plans, particularly the similarities in the descriptions of its programs.
Ako na mag-describe. I think it's sana man lang pinago-bago niya ng konti. Di ba ito insulto sa common sense? Hindi man lang niyo binago ng konti.
Ortoño also confirmed that Colonel Raymond Lachica was not an OVP employee, but was designated by the AFP as Group Commander of the Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group.
Colonel Lachica po is the group commander of the VP-SPG, and he is not an employee of the OVP, but he has an order coming from the AFP designating him as the group commander for the Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group.
Senator Judge Sherwin Gatchalian later on questioned why Ortoño had full trust in Lachica in implementing confidential activities. Ortoño said Lachica was the security officer and had been designated by Vice President Sara Duterte to carry out the activities. The hearing also saw another exchange between the defense and prosecution over the use of leading and misleading questions.
When I said they are allowed, I was referring to leading questions, Your Honor. I was indeed asking a leading question before Attorney Kapunan objected, Your Honor. So the objection was even improper at that time, Your Honor.
The statement of counsel is misleading because it was very clear that the immediate phrase which led to my remark was not about leading, it was about misleading, Your Honor. She had said misleading is allowed, and I responded to that. Let us not mislead again this honorable court.
Next week, Colonels Manaros Boransing II and Magtanggol Panopio are expected to testify. If they do not appear, defense spokesperson Attorney Michael Poa may take the stand, with his possible replacement still to be discussed with Vice President Duterte. Patrick Gupo, IBC News.
And at this point, let's discuss the developments in the ongoing impeachment trial with attorney Gigi Agabao, litigation lawyer, top 10 in the 1980 bar, and former impeachment prosecutor during the Corona trial. Good evening, attorney Gigi, and welcome back to 13 News.
Thank you very much, William. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you, sir, for being with us today. Attorney Gigi, Senator judges have pressed Lemuel Ortoño over matters pertaining to the budget utilization of the office of the OVP. Were we able to get clarity from his statements or just more questions into the alleged misuse of the funds, sir?
I think there were more questions than decisive clarity on whether the funds were actually misused or not. What the witness Ortoño highlighted was the same things that we heard from the person before him, from the witness before him, namely Gina Acosta, that really within the office of the vice president, the system, the mechanism of accountability and verification is really very, very poor, which is the reason why till now, the big question mark, the big question to us is, where did the money really go? Till now, that has remained unanswered, no? Although, of course, Ortoño made several, I guess, testimonies that we're hearing for the first time, no? Namely, that although the rewards given to supposed informers, no, were denominated as rewards, as medicines rather. They were not actually medicines, but were given in cash, no? Although they were denominated as medicines in the acknowledgement receipts. No? So I think that's the first time that this information was closed. But by and large, if you ask me, if there were more clarity on the testimony of Ortoño this afternoon, very slight if you asked me.
Okay, and sir, the House prosecutor eyes to have as witness attorney Michael Poa, who is also a part of the defense team. Is that possible or even realistic, sir? And if so, how can his answers be credible in the case when he is a counsel to the respondent po?
Well, I think Attorney Poa was subpoenaed and he will be examined in his capacity as Chief of Staff of the Vice President at the Department of Education. No? So the examinations, his testimonies will be limited to his role as Chief of Staff. Anything, any questions or any testimonies related to his role as attorney, especially related to the impeachment now, will be barred by which we call the client attorney privilege. No? You cannot be forced to disclose on anything that he and the Vice President had discussed on any matters pertaining to the impeachment case. He probably would be examined again if he knows of the operational details with respect to the disbursement of the confidential fund of the Department of Education. He'll probably be examined on how they replied. The Office of the Vice President replied to the audit observation memo of the COA, as well as the notice of suspension, probably even the notice of disallowance. In other words, he may be freely examined in anything except those that he and the Vice President had discussed on matters related to his role as attorney in this impeachment case. William?
Yes, and lastly, sir, as a former impeachment prosecutor, Attorney Gigi, what is your take on the two-strike rule implemented by presiding officer Senator Judge Chis Escudero, emphasizing Rule 18 of the impeachment court or the sub judice rule?
Well, to begin with, I thought that this was a sensible rule issued by the impeachment court. If you ask me, this should have been issued on the get-go, no? Right at the start of the impeachment case, so that these things could have been prevented. No? It is sensible, I said, because this would prevent prejudgment of the case. No? I have several concerns. No? First, on the two-strike rule, I thought that a warning at the first violation is too soft. I thought that there should have been a more proportionate penalty depending on the gravity of the offense, even if it's a first offense. No, for example, if an interview is made, for example, attacking the ruling of the court, or calling, or even, for example, saying that the respondent is already guilty, I thought that those are really egregious. Those are really serious violations that does not warrant only warning. I thought that there should have been a heavier penalties on, even if they're first offenses. No. And secondly, I thought that the monetary penalty of 15,000 is very modest. No. Let's face it. No, both the prosecution and the defense could easily pay that, and so I thought that they could have probably increased it to higher and make it hefty. No? Probably put it, let's say, to 50,000 or even 100,000 to really make it to serve its purpose of preventing this prejudgment of cases. And finally, my take about the spokespersons being allowed to freely talk even about the merits of the case. I thought that they should have been limited only to procedural matters. And the reason is simply that if they're allowed to discuss even the merits of the case, then that would have been a go-around. That would have been an indirect way of, again, discussing the merits of the case. No? Something that the ruling of the court today sought to prevent. No? I think the better ruling there was to allow, yes, the spokesperson to discuss, but the merits of the case, yes, but only on procedural matters, but not entirely on the merits of the case.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney Gigi Agabao, litigation lawyer, top 10 in the 1980 bar, and former impeachment prosecutor during the Corona trial. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Escudero, meanwhile, reminded the senator judges, prosecution, and the defense team to be impartial and fair amid the ongoing impeachment trial. This comes after talks of violations of the sub judice rule. The sub judice rule bans public comments, even those made on social media, to ensure a fair trial. Private prosecutor attorney Lorna Kapunan said that she aims to take the sub judice rule in strict compliance. This pertains to prosecution counsel Amando Virgil Ligutan's Facebook post about misleading questions not being allowed even during cross-examination. Ligutan responds that the post was informational and not directed to specific individuals. Recently, both the prosecution and the defense team have had a heated exchange, to which Escudero reminds that both sides must be due through evidence.
Prosecution. The primary duty of a public prosecutor is not to convict, but to see to it that justice is done. To the respondent and her counsel, the corresponding duty of defense counsel is not to secure an acquittal at all costs. Fiduciary duty to provide competent, efficient, consensus, and diligent representation.
The camp of Senator Jinggoy Estrada clarified rumors that the senator slipped or fell inside a restroom, prompting the need for him to be rushed to a hospital today. They insisted the knee pain he experienced today had nothing to do with any bathroom incidents circulating on social media. This afternoon, Senator Estrada felt a sharp crack in his knee while preparing for his scheduled x-ray. This prompted immediate medical attention. The Sandigan Bayan had earlier granted his request for a knee x-ray, citing the persistent pain he has long been dealing with. Past 1:00 p.m. today, the senator was released from the New Quezon City Jail, and by 2:45 p.m. he arrived at the Cardinal Santos Medical Center for further evaluation. Up next, a latest survey shows that the Philippines' national hunger rate has greatly dropped. Stay tuned. This is 13 News.
ang pinaka-importante sa amin na maipasa namin sa aming mga kabataan ay yung aming lengguwahe.
The number of Filipino families experiencing hunger has declined, with a recent survey showing improved food access across the country. The government says the downward trend reflects the impact of its hunger relief programs, while agencies continue working to sustain the improvement. Rachel Beltran has the report.
The hunger situation in the country continues to improve. According to Social Weather Stations or SWS survey, 20.3% of Filipino families experience hunger as of June 2026. This is lower than the 23.3% recorded in March. This shows the impact of the government's programs to address hunger, including the Department of Social Welfare and Development's Walang Gutom program. According to the SWD's Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao, the survey result is significant as they reflect improved and more consistent access to food among Filipino families. Dumlao also said Filipinos are now feeling the impact of the administration's initiatives to address hunger. Meanwhile, Department of Economy, Planning and Development Undersecretary Rosemarie De Leon assured that the government is ready to sustain the decline in hunger across the country.
Siguraduhin yung ating supply ng pagkain. No? Not just yung domestic production, pero yung timely na pag-import kasi talagang seasonal lang agriculture natin.
DepEd also continues to analyze data related on the country's economic conditions. According to De Leon, the agency is assessing whether Filipino families are seeing improvements in their human capital.
Pag nakuha namin yung data yan, then we'll make the proper analysis. Siguro ang unang kailangan siguraduhin dito is maging pangmatagalan itong reduction in poverty na to.
De Leon said the decline in hunger and poverty marks a significant gain for all Filipinos. Rachel Baltan, IBC News.
The Department of Education has launched Project Ligtas, an AI-enabled platform designed to help schools anticipate natural hazards and prepare for possible disruptions to classes. Crystal Gramizares has the details.
When hazards strike, learning is interrupted. The Department of Education emphasized this cycle with the continuous class suspensions due to heavy rainfall. Hence, DepEd has launched its AI-enabled platform called Project Ligtas for schools to anticipate disasters and plan ahead.
Kunting ulan lang binaba. The launching of Ligtas would definitely increase our awareness, especially our stakeholders, para mas alam namin yung gagawin para sa kaligtasan.
Over 47,000 schools nationwide can be detected through the platform's live hazard map using satellite imagery. This all-in-one platform also allows communities to access their hazard exposure to heat stress, flood, earthquake impact, and volcanic activity in real time. The built-in AI weather forecast can also be referenced by schools for earlier announcements of suspensions.
Lahat ng local governments, pwede lang antabayanan yung datos dito kung nakikita nila yung predicted rainfall is a certain amount. Gabi pa lang, bago mag 10 o'clock, pwede na sila mag-cancel ng eskwela. If we can do it even earlier, yung mga learning materials natin, ibibigay na po natin.
So that more database decision we can come up with. So pwede pong gamitin ito kasi granular po yung data, school level talaga.
During calamities, it also provides situational reports of affected school areas nationwide, which can give a clear visual for rescuers. DepEd's Ligtas platform can now be accessed through mobile, tablet, and PC devices. Crystal Ramizares, IBC News.
And in other news, President Marcos Jr. is open to imposing stiffer penalties for possession of loose firearms. This comes after a series of fatal school shooting incidents, including schools from Tacloban and Zamboanga. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro says DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla's proposal to impose a 20-year jail term with no bail for possession of loose firearms is good. Castro said the president will not oppose measures that protect the public and the youth. The palace stressed that deadly school shooting incidents could have been prevented if gun owners had been responsible handling of their firearms.
Ang Pangulo po ay open, pero muli, ang sasabihin ko ay kailangan mabasa muna kung ano man yung magiging probisyon patungkol po dito para po mas makapagbigay siya ng intelihenting komento.
The Malacanang Palace has called out politicians allegedly receiving support from China to promote narratives that undermine the Philippines' position on the West Philippine Sea. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro said the names of the politicians have yet to be disclosed, as further investigation is needed.
Mahirap po na ang maging leader natin ay hawak ng ibang bansa dahil ibang naratibo at ibang interes ang palalawigin ng mga politiko na hawak ng ibang bansa.
Meanwhile, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has reiterated the need for unity, saying the West Philippine Sea should not become a reason to further divide the country.
Good news for Luzon. Weather conditions have improved today as the southwest monsoon or habagat weakened, bringing more sunshine to a large part of the region. However, some areas may still experience cloudy skies, rains and thunderstorms over Metro Manila, Ilocos Region, Cordillera, Central Luzon, Cavite, Batangas, Rizal, Occidental Mindoro, Palawan, and parts of Western Visayas. Pag-asa said rainfall will increase from Thursday with 50 to 100 millimeters, possible over La Union, Pangasinan, Benguet, Zambales, Bataan, and Occidental Mindoro. By Friday and Saturday, up to 200 millimeters of rain may be recorded in Zambales, Bataan, and Occidental Mindoro. Still, the public can enjoy the improved conditions for now, while remaining weather-friendly as Pag-asa monitors a potential weather disturbance that could enhance the habagat later this week.
More tornadoes have been reported across Europe, with Italy and France seeing multiple twisters in recent days. Meanwhile, a powerful flash flood swept through Nepal's Rasuwa district, leaving at least 9 people dead and hundreds missing. Let's have more of the details from CJ Reyes.
In Pontinia, a municipality located in Italy's Latina province, a tornado was seen sweeping through the area, carrying plants into the air. Dashcam footage shows the moment trees were knocked down by the powerful whirlwind, causing traffic to slow down as fallen trees blocked parts of the road. France also wasn't given a break. Following the deadly tornado that recently tore through Pomis, another twister was spotted in the town of Neuchâtel. No damage or casualties have been officially reported. Meanwhile, massive flooding has swept through parts of Asia. In Nepal, a sudden flash flood surged through the Bote-Koshe River in Rasuwa district, killing at least 9 people and leaving hundreds missing. The flood waters also destroyed a bridge that linked Nepal and China. The exact cause of the sudden flooding is yet to be determined. Authorities have urged residents along riverbanks in Rasuwa and nearby districts to remain on high alert. In China, Longyan in Fujian province was also hit by heavy rains, triggering flooding across the city. Footage shared online shows flood waters rushing into an underground parking garage. The city is also bracing for Typhoon Sorol, which is forecasted to hit the city later tomorrow. CJ Reyes, IBC News.
Meanwhile, Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala shines, not just in sports but also in fashion. Ayala rocked a mustard yellow jacket paired with denim jeans at the 2026 US Open blue carpet. Her style also caught the attention of fashion icon and Vogue global editorial director Anna Winter. Winter praised Ayala's curiosity in fashion, noting her eagerness to learn about it.
You could see, even in such a young star, how interested she is in fashion and how she wants to learn about it and follow it, and I think it's great.
Before we wrap up tonight's newscast, we bring you the results of the PCSO's 9 p.m. lottery draws. For the Mega Lotto 645, the winning numbers are 17, 2, 27, 23, 7, and 43 with a jackpot price of 28,696,002 pesos and 78 centavos. For the Grand Lotto 655, the winning combination is 12, 50, 24, 32, 9, and 6 with a jackpot price of 157,870,051 pesos and 28 centavos. For the 4D Lotto, the winning combination in exact order is 8, 3, 5, and 9. For the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 0, 7, and 5. And finally, for the 2D Lotto draw, the winning numbers are 25 and 18. There are no winners for the Mega Lotto 645 and Grand Lotto 655. And those were the latest from the IBC Newsroom this evening. I am William Thio.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and bring you updates as they develop. I'm Angela C.
And I'm Gabrielle Lopez. This is 30 News, keeping you informed.